Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we're taking another look at Doron Dororon. Let's try that again. Today we're taking a look at Doron Dororon. All right, somebody who speaks Japanese, go find out how to pronounce this. All right, the fun new manga on Shonen Jump. 2 chapters in by Jinosuka, and I'm having a blast. I'm really enjoying it. I hope this goes the distance. It's got the writing chops. It's got the art for it. But there's just one little Mononoke fly in my ointment. This manga is clearly aimed at the slightly younger demographic. We're talking 7 to 14 maybe. You can tell it from the way the characters are drawn, the themes, the pacing. This is definitely aimed at a younger audience than, say, Kaiju number 8. But it's not aimed at a particularly young audience. It's, let's say, the lower half of the Shonen Jump target audience. Shows like this have a tougher road to hoe, especially because they have to be more wholesome. They're less intense, less blood, less guts, less gore, less sex appeal. The writing has to be top-notch, and the planning has to be top-notch. Several manga, quite a bit like this, in Shonen Jump, have fallen by the wayside recently. Now, I think that this manga has got the legs to go on, but we'll see. We'll see. Only time will truly tell, because not everything that deserves to go on does go on. That's just a fact of life. Now, for the spoiler-free review of Chapter 2. Chapter 2 picks up right off where Chapter 1 left off. We haven't got any major plot developments. We get a little bit more backstory on our main characters. And we get some more fun with the artwork. We can see various shape-shifting abilities of the main character here. I just want to say that there's this one scene where the artist is displaying the main Mononoke character's shape-shifting abilities that really just kind of struck me to the core on a really visceral level. I really think that this artist has a firm understanding, the mangaka for the series has a firm understanding of human psychology. I get this from the fact that the mangaka's art is manifesting certain intense feelings in a way that is not intuitive. This is not, not dealing with a human-shaped body here. You're not really dealing with an animal-shaped body here. And yet the artist still manages to represent a super intense feeling through body language alone. The words have almost nothing to do with it. And so I think that's a good sign that this show will have legs. The chapter itself, plot-wise, is nothing much. I mean, we almost all could have guessed what this chapter was going to be like. But again, when you're writing a story like this, you gotta remember there are no original stories. And if you try to be original, you're going to fail. Tell a good story. Accept what you are. Understand that you're submitting to Shonen Jump and tell the story within that context. And I really, really think that this mangaka has internalized that. This is akin to every other shonen manga, of course, but it's not obviously ripping off any of them. Even after just 2 chapters in, it has its own distinct flavor. And that's it for the spoiler-free section. There's going to be spoilers now. Shoo shoo. While you are clicking away from my video, I will give you a chance and some time by telling you to go click the links below the video to check out your copy of a light, wholesome book with very much the same spirit as this manga. Humans Are Weird. I have the data, and Humans Are Weird. We took a vote, available from Amazon or from the author. Follow the links and get your own copy to chuckle at while you wait for the next chapter to come out. Now, here come the spoilers. All right, again, perfectly logical second chapter. We get 28 pages. The second chapter of a new manga is always a letdown because you get that massive drop on the first chapter. But still, we got 28 pages. And we open up with a color cover, which makes me happy. It means this series is getting some attention. And we get into our little Mononoke friends. We get into some of his history. Apparently, he's learned the hard way that humans react to him with fear. There's a nice wide range of faces in here, even though there's not many people. So the artist definitely has the ability to stretch and not make everything unique. And I just love the way the main character flexes and changes shape with his emotions. And most of his things are just cute, and he just projects his emotion. But the main thing I want to talk about is that panel on the first panel on page 6. Oh my goodness, that one just went right to my heart. This adorable little animal-like character with his pure soul and eager shonen protagonist spirit is experiencing a super intense anxiety attack. That's the only way I can describe it. This drawing looks like exactly what I feel like whenever one of my anxiety attacks hit me, especially the ones that are guilt-based. And it's this weird little dough ball, half puppy shaped, half robot shaped looking character at this point, but it's just twisted it up into knots, and that really looks like it is the perfect physical representation of what my emotions do during an anxiety attack. And this may sound silly, this may sound shallow, but it really just spoke to me. Like I said in the spoiler-free section, I really think that this mangaka has a good grip on human psychology. And then, of course, we get our first confrontation with the samurai, and the shonen protagonist has to make the choice of whether to reveal themselves and risk being made known to the officials of the world, or to hide and let one of said officials die. And of course, we have a couple of pure-hearted manga protagonists, and they just go for it, of course. I mean, we like I said, we all knew what we were expecting. And we get it in high-quality spades. So the interaction plays out, and I think kind of the only thing that surprised me about it, the thing that really sets it apart, the attitude of the main Mononoke character. I'm really looking forward to getting a lot more backstory on Kusanagi here, because it really is shaping up the Kusanagi's not just the sidekick, not just the MacGuffin, not just the animal pet. Kusanagi is shaping up to be 100% a co-MC with Dora. You see, because in the fight, after the fight rather, with the Mononoke that Kusanagi saves the two samurai from, Kusanagi turns around and actually starts interacting with the samurai rather than just disappearing mysteriously. I kind of expected Kusanagi just to disappear as soon as he was done interacting with the samurai. That's what we'd get out of most mythical creatures. And at the beginning of the chapter, we see him running from samurai, and reacting to the negative reactions of other humans. My expectations, even though I didn't know what they were before the fight, I recognized as soon as they were violated, my expectations were this: that Kusanagi would rescue the samurai and then hightail it out of there at full speed, or would get injured, or if he was spotted, it would be because he got injured badly enough that he couldn't escape, or perhaps he got distracted talking with Dora. But no, Kusanagi, a little Mononoke who is presumably spawned and grew up in a world where he was hated and feared by all humans, and he understands that hatred and fear on a visceral level, he, instead of turning around and fleeing, he stops and, standing there in plain sight, turns around and asks these samurai, "Are you okay?" And the samurai looks at him, realizes there's a Mononoke standing there, and gets up to defend himself. And then Kusanagi goes, "What are you doing? If you have time to react to me, you have time to get your friend to the hospital." And even though Kusanagi is supposed to be somewhat jaded, you can clearly see that he's still innocent. He still wants to help. He's still putting the health and safety of these samurai above his own. Now, for a main character, that's not surprising, which is why I'm thinking that Kusanagi is going to be way more of a main character than we expected. But the question is why? These Mononoke clearly have a very violence-oriented hierarchy, like chimpanzees. So, number one, Why did Kusanagi decide it was wrong to kill people in the first place? Number 2, how has he retained this childlike innocence and main character enthusiasm through his life? It's going to be very interesting to see his backstory. Yes, in the moment, he could have easily calculated that the samurai couldn't actually hurt him. One was barely alive and the other one could barely sit up, let alone stand. But Kusanagi was interacting with them as if he expected some positive interaction. And you could see even from his backstory that he was disappointed and saddened when he had the negative reaction from the other samurai and humans, looking back on those first few pages. I think that what this is building up to. Now again, we've only had 2 chapters, but like I said, this creator has a good grasp of human psychology, and he's applying those rules to his Mononoke, human intelligence, human reactions. I think what this reacts to is Kusanagi has to have had a significant portion of time of positive interactions with humans. He was either raised by or partially raised with humans, and now he's going out there to protect humans, probably because of a tragic backstory. He probably lost his human friends. I'd be thrilled if that wasn't the case, but that's probably, again, this is a shonen manga, we know where this is going. That's probably where it's going, and I am excited to see how it gets there. So what do you think? Does Kusanagi have a tragic backstory about Mononoke eating his adopted human family? So leave your comments below telling me what you think happened to whoever was Kusanagi's human family before Kusanagi met Doro, and hit that like and subscribe button. Check to make sure you're still subscribed in case you already subscribed. Check out my books, Humans Are Weird, and peace out, my wonderful viewers. Humans are weird. We took a vote, and humans are weird. I have the data. 2 books in a series of human absurdity. Go check out these short story collections. What will our little green friends think of us when we finally do make it to space? Find out the answer in 2 books of human absurdity. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Play.